Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Serge. I hope you all had a good weekend. Today, I wanted to specifically talk about diet, nutrition, because I firmly believe that diet, what you put in your mouth, what you nourish your body with, is really important. It's the key for a strong immune system. And there's quite a bit of science to look into that and what kind of diet actually you need to get to optimum health. The first paper I wanted to go over is this. So high ratio of triglyceride to HDL cholesterol predict extensive coronary disease. So high triglyceride means high carbs intake. That's something I see all the time with blood work when people come in. We look at the triglyceride, cholesterol, the different markers, and it's high because of carbs. So when you ingest carbs, it could be all kind of carbs, right? Carbs, sugar. Your body converts those starches, carbs, into triglyceride as either a source of energy that your body brings to your cells, your tissues, or as a source of storage, leading to a weight gain. So a high ratio of triglyceride to HDL means that you eat too much carbs and your LDL is too low. So the ratio is a bit higher. If your triglyceride is 200 and your HDL is 50, for example, so your ratio is 4. So, which can be high. It's a marker of coronary cardiovascular disease. So the goal is to lower your triglyceride and increase your HDL. So you can lower your triglyceride to 50, for example, and your HDL can be 100, and the ratio would be half, 0.5, which is really, really, really low, which indicate that your cardiovascular system is healthy. So the next question is, how do you achieve that? How do you lower your triglyceride and increase your HDL? There's one thing to be done, like I said, is to cut down or maybe cut out your starches, your sugar, processed food, junk food, and lower your carbs intake. So most people do really well somewhere about around 50, 60 grams of carbs a day. Again, it could be a little bit higher if you're physically active, if you have any other health issues. But most people do really well in that range or even lower, like in a keto state, for example, which is 10, 15, 20 grams. Some people will do carnivore, no carbs at all. So if you do that, your triglyceride will go down and your HDL will go up. HDL is a carrier of fat. Okay, if you are in this fat burning state, okay, so if you don't eat any carbs, your body will shift and start using fat as a source of fuel. So that's fat burning stage. So if you are in that stage, your HDL will naturally go up because your HDL's particles are carriers, they are transporter of fat to the cells, to the tissues. Because your cells, your tissues, your organ needs fat as a source of fuel, your HDL will go up. So your body will make more particles to increase the transport to the cells. Okay, makes sense? So people, when we talk about low carbs, get concerned because, man, low carbs, I eat more fat, more meat, less starches. So we all use or believe that it's bad for your health. It's bad for your heart. It's bad for your brain, your cardiovascular system. So the next paper I wanted to go over is this. Okay, really fascinating paper. So effect of carbohydrate restricted, meaning low carb, dietary interventions on LDL particle size and number in adults in the context of weight loss or weight maintenance, a systemic review and meta-analysis. So basically this paper is a review of other studies done on this topic. It's really confusing. Again, LDL is a carrier, is a transporter of fat in the body, in the bloodstream. And there's different types of LDL particles. There's about 10, 12 different sizes, going from very, very, very small LDL to really large LDL particles, depending on how much fat there is, okay? So, and when you do blood work, your doctors typically do not look at the sizes of those particles, Okay, they give you the totality of LDL particles, and they will tell you, okay, your LDL, which is not even measured, it's calculated. So there's a formula they use to calculate it. They don't even measure it in your blood work. Crazy, isn't it? So they give you the totality of your LDL particle, but it doesn't give you the size. This paper shows specifically that the very small particles of LDL are the ones that are toxic. They're the ones that are bad for you. And the big ones are the ones that are good. Okay, they don't really cause any problem. The reason of it is the very, very, very small LDL particles can get into the blood wall, the arteries, the wall of your heart, your arteries, and can penetrate into that and cause inflammation and plaques. Okay, and those big LDL particles, they are too big. They cannot get into the blood vessel walls. So the LDL size is really, really important. And there's some companies actually that will measure them and see how much they are of the different sizes. Okay, this paper shows that if you eat a very low carb diet or keto diet, the big particle of LDL will increase, which doesn't mean anything at the end of the day, but the small particle goes down. So this diet reduces the number of toxic LDL particles. So we saw in the first paper that a very low carb diet, leads to an increase of HDL. Now we see that a keto diet, a very low carb diet, leads to a reduction of the small toxic LDL particle. That's amazing, isn't it? And lastly, I wanted to look at this paper. So very low carb diet enhances human T cell immunity through immunometabolic reprogramming. This is a mouthful that means simply that a very low diet improves, boosts your immune system. Okay, human T cell immunity is the first part of the immune system when the body encounters pathogens like a virus or bacteria or so on. So the T cell component of it is white blood cells, for example, macrophages. So it's a immune system response based on cells as opposed to antibodies. So this is the first step. So immune T cells are being activated, leading to these reactions, cytokine productions, inflammation in the body, and then the white blood cell, the B cells, I should say, are being activated, leading to the production of antibodies. These are the two main components of the immune system, right? So you need to support the first component, so stimulating the T cells, and then this helps the B cell, which is the antibody productions. So this shows that a very low carbs support even better than any other diet your T cell immune reaction. Okay, it makes sense because there's other studies that I talked about before that showing that a really high carb diet can suppress your immune system from 10 hours to up to 2 weeks. If you eat a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar, your immune system is down. Okay, specifically when it comes to sugar. Have you ever thought why people get the flu, for example, get sick after the holiday season? So for a few months, from November, December, people have been eating junk food, sugar, potatoes, spice, cakes, and so on for a few weeks. And the body is so suppressed by this intake of carbs and sugar that you are at risk to get infections. So I see this all the time. If you get sick, you get the flu, the cold fairly regularly or once in a while, most likely you eat too much carbs for your body shape, your body chemistry. So lower it. I see that all the time. 100% of the time when people get sick is because they ate something that is starchy, carby, sugar, and the body is suppressed, leading to an opportunity for those pathogens, flu, bacteria, viruses, to get in and cause an infection. So these three papers that we saw today clearly support that a very low carb diet, keto, paleo, carnivore type, is the key to optimum immune system function and optimum health. And no fat, animal proteins, like we just saw, do not cause cardiovascular disease. So do not be stressed about it. Enjoy your animal fats, your eggs, your bacon, your meat, your cheese, and so on. So if you guys have any questions on this topic or any topic when it comes to health, nutrition, and what to do to get better, please let me know. You can write a comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and God bless.